Somewhere right now, a 15-year-old luxury sport utility vehicle just rolled past 280,000 miles on its original engine, and the person driving it paid less for the whole truck than one repair bill on a modern turbocharged one. No turbo to blow, no tablet glued to the dash, no $2,000 surprise when a single sensor decides it's done. These are the sport utility vehicles from the last golden era of luxury, back when premium meant a V8 that refused to die, not a subscription to your own heated seats. Today I'm handing you the 5 best. I've been under these trucks for over 2 decades, and I'll tell you exactly what changed. Somewhere around 2013, the luxury sport utility vehicle world went insane. Automakers ripped out the naturally aspirated engines that ran forever and replaced them with tiny turbocharged motors strapped to twin turbos, plumbing, and heat that cooks seals alive. They bolted a giant touchscreen to the dash and ran every single function, climate, defrost, drive modes through it. So when that screen dies at 90,000 miles, you're paying $2,000 for the privilege of turning on your own air conditioning. And they added air suspension to trucks that never needed it, just to sell you a $3,000 repair down the road. But there was a window, call it roughly 1998 to about 2010, where luxury sport utility vehicles had already gotten genuinely nice inside, but hadn't yet gotten stupid under the hood. Real leather, quiet cabins, V8, e-power, paired with engineering so overbuilt that mechanics like me are quietly buying them for our own families. That's the list today. 5 of them. I'm going deepest on number 1 because it's the one I'd hand to my own kid without a second thought. Let's get into it. Number 5. Infiniti FX35. Let's start with the one nobody remembers, and that's exactly why it's a steal. The Infiniti FX35 was the SUV that looked like a shark and drove like a sports car back when everyone else was building rolling appliances. And today you can find clean ones for the price of a decent used Camry. A guy came into my shop last spring, mid-30s, wanted something that felt special but couldn't stomach a $600 car payment. He'd been eyeballing a used BMW X3 with the Turbo 4. I told him flat out, that little turbo motor is going to nickel and dime you into bankruptcy, carbon buildup, timing chain guides, high-pressure fuel pump, all of it out of warranty. Then I showed him a 2010 FX35 with 96,000 miles for $11,000. He drove it once and forgot the BMW existed. Here's what makes the FX work. Under the hood is Nissan's VQ35x6, one of the most proven engines the company has ever built, a cousin of the motor in the 350Z. It's naturally aspirated, so there's no turbo waiting to fail. It runs a timing chain, not a belt, so no expensive interval to babysit. These engines routinely cross 200,000 miles when you just change the oil on time. RepairPal rates the FX35 above average for its class, with average annual repair costs around $617, less than the luxury midsize SUV average and a fraction of what a German rival will cost you. Now, I'm going to be straight with you because that's the whole point of this channel. The first generation FX from 2003 to 2008 is the one to know inside out. The engine is tough, but the known weak spots are front wheel bearings that can start humming around 90,000 miles, and on some earlier trucks, cooling system components that need attention. Neither is a wallet killer. A wheel bearing is a couple $100 in parts. The second generation from 2009 up got a stronger 303 horsepower version of the V6 and a smoother 7-speed, but watch for a light valvetrain tick on some examples. Good synthetic oil on a strict schedule keeps it quiet. When you go look at one, do three things. Turn the wheel to full lock in a parking lot and listen for a grinding hum. That's the bearing telling on itself. Second, get it up to highway speed and feel for any shudder in the transmission on light throttle. Third, check that every window, lock, and the navigation screen actually respond, because the electronics are where a lazy previous owner shows their true colors. Pass those three, and you've got a genuine sport luxury SUV for around $7,000 to $13,000. Who's it for? Someone who wants a truck that's actually fun to drive and doesn't care that the badge isn't German. Who should skip it? If you need 3 rows or real cargo space, the FX is tight and thirsty. This is a driver's SUV, not a family hauler. Number 4. Cadillac Escalade, the 2007 to 2014 generation. Now we go big and we go American. This is the truck rappers put in music videos, and because of that reputation, everyone assumes it's expensive to own. It is the single cheapest luxury SUV on this list to actually keep on the road, and I'll prove it. An older customer of mine, retired, wanted presence and comfort for towing his boat and hauling grandkids. He was looking at a used Mercedes GL with the twin-turbo diesel. I begged him not to. That truck has an air suspension, a turbo diesel with an emissions system that costs thousands when it clogs, and electronics that require a dealer to even read. I steered him to a 2011 Escalade with 110,000 miles for $17,500. He's put almost nothing into it in 3 years. Here's the beauty of the Escalade. Underneath the leather and the chrome, it's a Chevy Tahoe. That's not an insult. That's the secret. The 6.2-liter V8 is an old-school pushrod engine that any shop in America can fix with parts you can buy at any counter in the country. There's no turbo, there's no timing belt, it's a chain. A water pump is a couple $100. Spark plugs and wires, cheap. Compare that to a modern turbocharged luxury SUV where a single coolant leak buried under the intake can run you $2,000 in labor alone. The Escalade is honest, brute simple engineering wearing a tuxedo. But, and this matters, you have to buy the right one and know its 2 habits. First, these V8s use a fuel-saving system called active fuel management that shuts off cylinders, and it can lead to oil consumption and, on neglected trucks, a lifter issue. The fix on a well-kept one is simply checking your oil regularly and staying on top of maintenance. Plenty of owners run a tune to disable the system entirely. Second, if the truck has magnetic ride control, those shocks can leak and they're not cheap. The move a lot of smart owners make is converting to conventional shocks, which actually lowers your long-term cost. Steer toward the 2010 and up trucks, which ironed out the early bugs, and avoid a neglected 2007 with a mystery service history. Inspection checklist. Pull the oil dipstick and make sure it's full and clean. Low or burnt oil on an AFM truck is a red flag. Bounce each corner and look underneath for shock fluid weeping, which tells you the magnetic ride is on its way out. And scan the truck for codes before you buy. On something this cheap to fix, a couple of pending codes is a negotiating tool, not a deal breaker. You can land a clean one for $13,000 to $22,000. Full-size American luxury with a V8 that'll run to 250,000 miles on regular guy repair bills. Number 3. Lexus RX 350, the 2007 to 2009 model. This is the SUV your dentist bought new, drove gently and traded in, and it is the closest thing to a zero-drama luxury vehicle that exists on the used market. If the FX is the fun one and the Escalade is the big one, the RX 350 is the one that will simply never, ever leave you stranded. I had a woman come in last year, a nurse, single mom, needed something dead reliable because she couldn't afford to miss a shift sitting at a shop. She had a used Audi Q5 in her sights. I told her the truth. That turbocharged Audi is a lovely truck for the first owner and a financial trap for the third. I found her a 2009 RX 350 with 118,000 miles for $12,500. That was 14 months ago. Total spent since? An oil change, cabin filter, and one set of wiper blades. She still looks at me like I pulled a trick. Here's why the RX is untouchable. The 3.5-liter V6 in these, Toyota calls it the 2GRFE, is one of the most reliable 6-cylinders ever mass-produced. It's the same engine family that powered Camrys, Siennas, and Avalons to legendary mileage. Naturally aspirated, so no turbo. Timing chain, so no belt to replace. No direct injection carbon headaches like the newer designs. It's a smooth, torquey, boring in the best way engine that just runs. Bolt it to a proven automatic and a car-based platform, and you get a luxury crossover with almost nothing to go wrong. And this is the part that matters for the theme of this whole video. The RX from this era still had real buttons, real climate knobs, a screen that showed you the map and then got out of the way. It hadn't yet handed your entire life over to a touch screen that costs $1,800 to replace when it delaminates. That's luxury that ages gracefully instead of turning into a tech support nightmare. If you're shopping one, here's what to check. First, look at the dashboard for cracking or a sticky top surface. Some Lexus and Toyota dashes from these years soften in hot climates, and Toyota extended coverage on many, so make sure it's been addressed. Second, feel the front suspension over bumps for clunks. Struts and mounts are the normal wear item here, and they're cheap. Third, confirm the all-wheel drive engages smoothly if it's equipped. That's it. That's the whole list, because there isn't much else to worry about. Prices run $8,000 to $14,000 for a clean, well-kept example. Who should buy it? Anyone who values their time and never wants to think about their car. Who should skip it? If you want to feel something behind the wheel, the RX is comfortable and quiet to a fault. It drives like a warm bath. That's the trade for that Toyota-grade peace of mind. Real quick, if this straight talk is saving you from a bad purchase, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I put out videos on the exact SUVs dealers push versus the ones that actually make sense, and I'd hate for you to miss the next one. All right, the top two. Number 2, Lexus GX 470 from 2003 to 2009. Now we get to the trucks I genuinely covet. The GX 470 is what happens when Lexus takes a Toyota Land Cruiser Prado, a body-on-frame, go-anywhere machine built for the harshest countries on earth, and wraps it in leather and quiet. It's a luxury SUV that will still be running when the touchscreen crossovers of today are long in the junkyard. A customer, a contractor, came to me convinced he needed a new Range Rover to look successful at job sites. I asked him if he wanted to look successful or actually be successful, because a used Range Rover is one of the fastest ways I know to light money on fire, air suspension, electronics, a repair bill every few months. I pointed him at a 2008 GX 470 with 130,000 miles for $16,000. He's now the guy at the site telling everyone else to buy one. The heart of the GX is the 4.7-liter V8, the 2UZFE. This is one of the toughest engines Toyota has ever screwed together. A cast-iron block designed for trucks and built to shrug off abuse. It's naturally aspirated. And here's a detail most people get wrong. It runs a timing belt, not a chain, due at roughly 90,000 miles, but it's a non-interference design, meaning even if that belt ever let go, it won't destroy your engine. You do the belt and the water pump together, one visit, and forget about it for another 90,000 miles. These motors are documented past 300,000 miles all day long. Now, honesty time, because a good mechanic tells you the warts. The GX has two known issues to check. Around 100,000 to 110,000 miles, the secondary air injection system can throw a code, and that repair can run over $1,000 if you go to a dealer. But plenty of trucks never have the problem, and there are cheaper fixes. Second, these have a rear air-assisted suspension that can eventually leak. It's manageable, and some owners convert it. Beyond that, watch for the same cracked dash issue and check for frame rust if it lived somewhere they salt the roads. When you inspect one, listen for a ticking exhaust manifold on cold start, a known 2UZ quirk that's more annoying than dangerous. Demand proof the timing belt was done, or budget for it. Crawl underneath and look at the frame and the rear suspension bags. And take it off a curb gently to confirm the four-wheel drive system engages without binding. Do that, and you own a body-on-frame luxury tank that'll outlive you. Prices sit around $12,000 to $20,000, with pristine low-mile examples climbing higher, because the people who own these know exactly what they've got and don't let them go cheap. Number 1. Lexus LX 470 from 1998 to 2007. And here it is. If I could only own one luxury SUV from this entire golden era for the rest of my life, this is the one I'd buy, and I'd buy it today without blinking. The LX 470 is a Toyota Land Cruiser, the actual legendary Land Cruiser built to cross a desert, dressed in full Lexus luxury. It is arguably the most durable luxury SUV ever built, and the market still hasn't fully figured out what these are worth. I had a younger guy laugh at me when I recommended one. He said it looked old. I walked him to the back of my lot and showed him one I'd taken in on trade with 240,000 miles on the clock, original engine, original transmission, still whisper quiet, still climbing my steep driveway like it was nothing. Then I told him the owner before him had put maybe $3,000 into it total over 8 years. He stopped laughing. The LX runs the same bulletproof 4.7-liter 2U ZFE V8 as the GX, cast iron, naturally aspirated, timing belt every 90,000 miles, non-interference, effectively immortal with basic care. But the LX is the full-size flagship, a bigger, plusher, more serious machine built on the 100 series Land Cruiser, the platform that has a reputation across the entire planet for simply not dying. United Nations aid organizations buy Land Cruisers to cross war zones because they don't break. You get that same drivetrain wearing wood trim and heated leather. Here's the one thing you must understand before buying, and it's the reason these are still affordable. The LX 470 uses a hydraulic self-leveling suspension system called AHC. When it's healthy, it rides beautifully. When it's neglected, it can get expensive to service, and it scares uninformed buyers away, which is exactly why you can still get one cheap. My advice is simple. Find one where the AHC has been maintained and works correctly through all its height settings, and you've dodged the only real bullet. Everything else on this truck is Toyota tough. Your inspection: cycle the suspension through low, normal, and high, and make sure it rises and holds. Sagging or slow response means AHC service is coming. Confirm the timing belt history. Check for frame rust underneath, especially on trucks from salt states. And look for the maintenance records, because the LX attracts meticulous owners, and a fat folder of receipts is worth its weight in gold. Prices range from around $14,000 for a higher mileage example to nearly $30,000 for a pristine low-mileage one. And honestly, even at the top of that range, it's a bargain for a hand-built luxury truck that'll run past 300,000 miles. Who should buy it? Anyone who plans to keep a vehicle for a decade or more and wants the lowest lifetime cost, of any luxury SUV, period. Who should skip it? If you need modern fuel economy or the latest tech, this is a thirsty, analog machine, and that's precisely the point. So there they are. 5 luxury SUVs from the last great era before automakers decided you needed a turbo to blow, a touchscreen to crack, and a $2,000 repair to look forward to every year. The Infiniti FX35, the forgotten sport luxury sleeper, the Cadillac Escalade, American V8 muscle you can fix anywhere, the Lexus RX 350, the most drama-free luxury vehicle on the used market, the Lexus GX 470, a body-on-frame tank in a tuxedo, and the Lexus LX 470, the closest thing to an immortal luxury SUV ever made. Every one of these was built in the window where luxury meant engineering, not electronics. Next time a salesman tries to steer you toward a 3-year-old German lease return with an air suspension warning light already glowing, you'll know exactly why he's smiling. Now, if you want to see which of these old workhorses I've personally watched cross 300,000 miles, the ones that flat out refuse to die, I broke that down in another video, and it's right here. That's over 20 years of turning wrenches talking. Hit like if this helped, subscribe for more truth the dealerships won't tell you, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care of the good ones, and they'll take care of you.